Hello everyone, I'm Dashup and I'm thrilled to bring you this new video on the latest news about MMOs and multiplayer games. This week I have 12 updates about 12 different games to share with you. For the main news, we'll cover Ashes of Creation, Star Wars, The Old Republic, Project Bloomwalker, Project Spectrum, and Fellowship. In the quick news section, we'll talk about Duet Night Abyss, Raven 2 Lost Skies, Warborne Above Ashes, Chip and Clawz vs the Brainioids, Solo Leveling Arise Overdrive, and The Lord of the Rings Online. If you enjoyed the video content, feel free to drop a little thumbs up, it's always appreciated. Alright, now that we all know the lineup, I think it's time to dive into the news. Since August 26th, Intrepid Studios has launched Phase 3 of Alpha 2 for its MMORPG Ashes of Creation. Ashes of Creation is in development for the PC platform. I note that no release date has been announced yet. To participate in this new stage of Alpha 2, you must own a Founders Pack. If interested, the studio offers a pack in the official website store for $100. For this phase, the studio provides one server for North America and another for Europe, accessible 24/7 except during maintenance. No NDA is imposed, so participants are free to stream or create videos if they wish. Keep in mind, this is a major update for a game in alpha, so expect potential bugs, unscheduled maintenance, or graphical issues. With this Phase 3 of Alpha 2, Ashes of Creation features visuals powered by Unreal Engine 5.6. The game introduces a new starting zone called the Anvils, the homeland of the Mountain Dwarves. This zone includes 8 small dungeons, 28 quests, 15 events, and points of interest tied to abandoned forges, allowing players to learn more about this dwarven race and their past. 2 new playable races are available: the Pyra Elves, Wood Elves who previously hid in forests, and the Nikua Dwarves, a matriarchal society settled on volcanic coasts. Phase 3 also brings a major overhaul to the game's economy and crafting system. The crafting rework introduces 3 gear tiers within each profession level. Lower tiers offer easily crafted items accessible to all, while rare items require more effort. A crate system is introduced, allowing crates to be transported between nodes for construction and node development. These crates are visible to other players, making transporters potential PvP targets. For PvP, the studio added lawless dynamic points of interest. At certain times, specific areas in the game world become lawless, enabling PvP for all players in the zone, who also gain increased experience and loot rates. Regarding nodes, the studio introduced the 4th development level, allowing players to build full-fledged cities, with a node potentially reaching metropolis status. For guilds, Phase 3 replaces the old skill tree system with a more flexible point spending system. The experience curve has been adjusted to make early levels easier to gain. Weekly guild activities allow leaders to assign missions alongside quests members can take independently. Guilds gain item and material storage with the option to unlock more space using guild points and gold. A ledger tracks each member's contributions and expenses. Several new weapons have been added: the rapier, one-handed axe, two-handed spear, two-handed mace, and two-handed axe. The patch notes for this Phase 3 of Alpha 2 are extensive, and I can't cover every change or addition here. You can find the full patch notes linked in the info bar to explore all the new features added to the game. As expected, Chief Rebel Studio was present at Gamescom 2025 to share some details about their game, Fellowship. To recap, Fellowship combines elements of MMOs, MOBAs, and action RPGs, featuring various heroes, cooperative gameplay, endgame dungeons, and plenty of epic loot to deliver a unique and challenging PvE dungeon exploration experience. The studio describes their game as a MODA, or multiplayer online dungeon adventure. Unlike a traditional MMORPGs, Fellowship does not offer a leveling experience in a vast open world. Instead, you dive straight into the adventure by heading into dungeons with other players. The classic trinity of roles, tank, healer, and DPS, is respected. At Gamescom 2025, the studio shared details about the game's release. We now know that Fellowship will launch on October 9th for PC. To clarify, this will be an early access release. According to the developers, the early access phase is expected to last around 6 months, though this could change based on community feedback. In any case, the full release is planned for 2026. Regarding the business model, no surprises here. As I previously mentioned, the game will be buy to play. The announced price is $24.99, which will likely translate to €24.99 in Europe. Before the early access launch, the studio will hold an open beta next month, from September 18th to 23rd. For this open beta, there will be servers for North America, Europe, and Asia. If you're interested, you can already apply to participate by visiting the Steam page and clicking Request Access. Naturally, you'll find the link to Fellowship's Steam page in the info bar. It's been a while since we last checked in on the MMORPG Star Wars: The Old Republic. That's why this week it's time for us to take a look at the latest news regarding this game. Last week, Star Wars: The Old Republic received a new update, so it's a great opportunity to talk a bit about this MMO set in the Star Wars universe. This new update is called Flashpoint Resurgence. It introduces the 9th Galactic Season. As usual, you'll be able to earn rewards based on your progress through either the free reward track or the subscriber reward track. A new Galactic Season Flashpoint Resurgence queue has been added to the activity finder. Each week during this new Galactic Season, the special queue will include 1 or 2 veteran mode flashpoints corresponding to the weekly objectives. The user interface has also received some improvements. A new drop-down menu in the Group tab allows you to select all eligible roles for your combat styles. You can now change combat styles while waiting for a PvE group. Direct access to combat styles and loadouts has been added for convenience. Players should check and adjust their loadouts if necessary. The daily reward bonus and weekly mission credits are now accessible without selecting all content in the filter. The interface now displays 2 numbers, the total available content and the minimum required for rewards. These changes aim to improve flexibility and combat style management in the activity finder. There are also changes to cutscenes and flashpoint missions. When entering a flashpoint via the activity finder, cutscenes are automatically skipped and replaced with a brief fade to black. Light and dark side choices are made by default without assigning points. To view cutscenes, you must manually enter the phase. For certain veteran mode flashpoints accessed via the activity finder, it's no longer necessary to return to the fleet to complete the access mission. Free-to-play and preferred status players now have new benefits. You can now access companion customizations, legacy titles, earn rest experience, get the first cargo bay for free, hide headgear, withdraw more credits from your escrow using cartel coins, and access all quick bars. These are welcome improvements. The character selection screen has been enhanced with improved lighting and a new depth of field update to keep the focus on the character. Note that these visual updates apply only to the character selection screen and not to your entire ship. There are also new customization options, such as new hair colors or new skin tones, depending on your avatar's species. There's also a Twitch drop currently available. By watching 4 hours of a stream with drops enabled, you can earn a free mount to the TF6 Hunter. I haven't gone into every detail, but you'll find the link to the patch notes in the info bar if you want to learn more. On August 20th, South Korean company Netmarble announced a new game currently in development, tentatively titled Project Bloomwalker. Netmarble describes it as a cozy adventure and crafting game with cooperative elements. Currently, Project Bloomwalker is announced for PC and Xbox Series platforms and will be available on Game Pass. I say currently because Netmarble has hinted that the game may come to additional platforms. No release date has been announced yet. The studio explains that the name Bloomwalker translates to one who walks while making flowers bloom, reflecting a vision of a world where each step of each protagonist brings life back. The title symbolizes the player's power to be a force of healing and renewal, transforming the world around them. In their mobile home, players and their adorable spiritual companions called Oddlings embark on a journey to explore unknown territories, purify tainted landscapes, gather resources for crafting and decoration, and bond with their Oddling friends while preparing for new adventures. Set in a once beautiful land shared by humans and mysterious spirits, the game begins when a mysterious meteor crashes, leaving an impact site so polluted that no life can survive. As the world suffers, Bloomwalkers emerge, wielding the power to restore life and heal the wounded land. Playing as a Bloomwalker, players set out in their mobile home to purify polluted landscapes and revive nature's harmony. According to the studio, Project Bloomwalker stands out from other crafting games due to its mobile home system. Instead of being tied to a poorly placed base, players experience true nomadic freedom with their mobile home, allowing them to move effortlessly, discover stunning landscapes, and turn any location into their personal sanctuary. The game encourages free exploration without the fear of making mistakes, removing the stress of base placement common in many crafting games. The studio also notes that crafting games often focus on survival, but with Bloomwalker, Netmarble aims to offer a different experience centered on what they call emotional crafting. Instead of a constant struggle to survive, the game emphasizes the joy of creating beauty, healing nature, and building relationships. For the art direction, the studio's vision was to immerse players in a vibrant world reminiscent of a stunning animated film. The art team's primary goal was to ensure every visual element feels alive, using soft yet vibrant color contrasts to highlight the powerful transition from decay to flourishing life. The studio clarifies that while the demo is currently in English, the full version will support a wide range of languages. That's this week's introduction to Project Bloomwalker, a brand new game in development. We'll revisit it when the studio shares more details. On August 19th, publisher Teamy Studio Group and Delta Force developer Team Jade announced a new game titled Project Spectrum. The game is described as a blend of tactical shooter and asymmetrical multiplayer horror. The game director expressed immense excitement about showcasing Project Spectrum to players worldwide, revealing that the studio has been secretly working on it for 2 years. The studio aims to create something truly unique by offering a meticulously crafted shooter with a distinct style set in a dangerous yet captivating world where players embark on an unpredictable survival adventure. As they explore, they'll encounter unexpected threats and may even become the danger themselves. Developed for PC using Unreal Engine 5, Project Spectrum immerses players in a ruined world devastated by a mysterious force called the Ember, which warps reality. Everything the Ember touches, cities, landscapes, and even life itself, is transformed in incomprehensible ways, leaving behind hazardous areas known as Ember Zones. Players take on the role of an operator, tasked with leading high-risk missions in these zones to gather intel, neutralize threats, and uncover the Ember's secrets. The fast-paced gameplay requires strategic resource management, team synergy, and constant vigilance against dangers, including formidable adversaries called Enforcers, controlled by other players. Players must also preserve their mental health, a critical resource that depletes quickly and is essential for survival in this hostile environment. For now, this is just the initial announcement and details remain sparse. The game has no confirmed release date yet. With this first reveal, it's clear the studio will continue sharing updates soon, allowing us to provide more information about the game in the future. For now, we're excited to know about this new multiplayer title in development. And here we are in the second part of the video with quick news. In this section, we'll go through various updates on different games, getting straight to the point. Let's start with Duet Night Abyss, developed by Pan Studio. Duet Night Abyss is described as a fantasy adventure RPG offering a high degree of freedom. The first piece of news is that we finally have a release date for Duet Night Abyss. The game will launch on October 28th this year as a free-to-play title on PC via the Epic Games Store and on mobile. The second piece of news is about a testing phase. The studio is indeed planning to hold a test phase soon, though the date hasn't been announced yet. However, you can already sign up via a form, the link to which is in the info bar. Be quick, as you have until September 7th to register. Oh, and one more thing about Duet Night Abyss. There are changes to the game. The gacha system for characters and weapons has been removed. All characters and weapons will now be obtainable in-game for free. From what I understand, it will still be possible to buy characters directly from the shop. The energy system, which limits daily activities, has also been scrapped. I won't go into more detail since this is a quick news segment, but just know that the gacha aspect for characters and weapons in Duet Night Abyss is gone. I might talk about these changes in more detail in a future video. Oh, and I didn't mention earlier, but the reason I'm talking about this game is simply because it offers co-op gameplay. Let's move on to Raven 2 by Netmarble. Raven 2 is a cross-platform MMORPG for PC and mobile, already available in its home country, South Korea, since May 2024. I even played it in a video during its South Korean release to show you the gameplay on the channel. Well, this week's news about Raven 2 is that Netmarble has announced the global version of the game. The global version of Raven 2 now has its own official website and a page on the Epic Games Store. From this page, we can see that the game will be translated into several languages, including German, French, and English. Plus, pre-registrations are already open. You'll find the link to the official website in the info bar if you want to pre-register. In the South Korean version I tested, the game featured auto-combat mechanics. I assume the global version will be the same. The release date for our version of Raven 2 hasn't been announced yet, but it's expected in 2025, with some media suggesting late October. Next up is Lost Skies, developed by Bossa Studios and published by Humble Games. Lost Skies is a co-op survival game available in early access on PC since April 2025. Well, this week Bossa Studios announced the end date for early access and the official release of the full game. The complete version of Lost Skies will launch on September 17th this year on PC. For now, the studio hasn't shared details about the major update that will accompany the official release. If Lost Skies interests you or you want more information, you'll find the link to its Steam page in the info bar. Now let's quickly talk about Warborne Above Ashes, developed and published by Coolant Games. Last week I told you that the studio had set a date of August 26th to reveal the game's release date. Well, August 26th has passed, and we now know that Warborne Above Ashes will release on September 19th this year. Server and faction pre-selection will begin on September 10th. If you're interested in this game, you'll find the link to the Steam page for Warborne Above Ashes in the info bar. The creator of XCOM is bringing us a brand new game called Chip and Clawz vs the Brainioids. The title is described as a cooperative strategic action game where you'll need to build a base and lead an army of robots to defeat brains from outer space. The game can be played solo but also supports co-op. There's even a friend pass to invite a friend to play. The game just launched recently as it's been available since August 26th. The platforms are PC, Xbox and PlayStation consoles. If you're interested, I've included the link to the game's Steam page in the info bar. Now let's talk about Solo Leveling Arise Overdrive by Netmarble. Solo Leveling Arise Overdrive is a new version of Solo Leveling Arise, designed exclusively for PC and consoles. I have some info to share about this game this week, but I won't go into details today because I'll cover it more thoroughly in the next video. What I can tell you today is that the global release of Solo Leveling Arise Overdrive is set for November 17th this year on PC. The console release is planned for 2026. This version of the game will not be free to play or gacha based, but will instead be a buy-to-play title. The standard version is priced at €39.99, and there's also a deluxe version for €44.99. Pre-orders are already open, and if you're interested, you'll find the link to the game's Steam page in the info bar. Don't forget, I'll talk more about Solo Leveling Arise Overdrive in the next video with a lot more details. And to wrap things up, here's a great gift from Standing Stone Games. This gift is for the MMORPG The Lord of the Rings Online. By adding the code displayed on the screen to your game account, you'll receive a ton of additional content for free. Be quick, as you have until November 3rd to use the code. I'm showing all the content you'll get permanently with this code on your screen. As you can see, there's plenty to keep you busy. As for why the studio is offering this gift, they simply wanted to thank players for their support. For convenience, you'll find the code in the info bar, so you can just copy and paste it. Here we are at the end of this video, and I sincerely hope you enjoyed it. If you did, feel free to show it by giving a little thumbs up and even leaving a comment, because not only does it feel great, but it also helps boost the video's visibility completely for free. Now it's time for me to wish you all amazing gaming sessions, no matter what game you're playing, because the most important thing here is to have fun.